This video is made possible by the following cuties. You can check out the gear they provide for me in the description below.
Yep. It's Ginger. So hey guys, Jimmy here, and welcome back to another video. First of all, let's talk about the hair, yeah? let's get it out of the way quickly. So a couple of weeks ago, I took part in a charity race, which was benefiting a charity called the Trussell Trust. And I said to my guys on the stream, if we hit £20,000 or more raised, I will dye my hair blonde. Because you guys are such mad lads, we actually hit 25 grand in the end, and my hair's fate was sealed. But of course, when you try and dye your hair blonde from whatever colour my hair is, usually very dark brown, it kind of does this. Do I care? Not really. But is it hilarious? Extremely. So feel free to poke fun or whatever in the comments, but this is how it's going to be for a little while. Anyway, being Ginger aside, I thought today's video could be a bit more relaxed and a bit more chilled out. And all the content we've been seeing recently with sim racing. We've had a lot of very big things go on recently in the sim racing space, and it's been amazing for all the sim racing creators in terms of traffic to the channels. I can't lie and say it's not helped me, it really has. But I think some of us are getting away from what we love about sim racing, and in today's video I want to try and discuss that a bit and just have a bit of a chill time with me and you, which means no 6,000 horsepower Formula 1 cars for now. And what better way to chill out and just drive than by taking my car, my Nissan R32 GTR, or I should say Nissan Skyline GTR R32, otherwise James May will call my car shit again, and drive it around the LA Canyons map, because I haven't driven this before, and it's one of those maps that I'm told that is just a ton of fun to drive around and just chill out. And I remember a while ago I did a video around Targa Florio in a Porsche 911 Carrera of some sort, and it was just a lot of fun just to chill out and do that. So we're going to do that today, talk about sim racing a bit, you know, chew the fat and just enjoy each other's company, although I know it's a bit of a one-sided conversation. So here we are then, LA Canyons in our Skyline GTR, and importantly to note, this is the stock R32 GTR. It's a V-Spec 2, so it's got some nice big brakes and some high CAS and a Tesla settings, but it's basically a stock GTR, so about 300 horsepower or so at the flywheel. Not quite sure what that is at the wheels. Twin turbos, quite a lot of lag because it's from the 90s, and of course it's perfect in every way because it's the best car ever. Don't at me, I'm not biased at all. We've got about 40 litres in the tank, which I think should be enough to get us around this map. And we should hopefully as well have some two-way traffic working. I had a bit of struggle getting it working before. It might be working now. We might not even see anyone. They might all just crash. But they should be around somewhere and hopefully give us a bit more of an immersive vibe for this app. And speaking of the devil, there goes the Lotus Elise. How cool is that? It's cool to have a sort of traffic drive sometimes. I know, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there, like myself of course, massive car enthusiast, all I want to do to chill out and get rid of some of this stress and the anxiety of this situation that's kind of gripping the world at the moment is go for a drive. But of course you can't do that really because, well, I've had that argument, people saying that it doesn't matter, I can go for a drive, right? I'm not exposing anyone to the virus by going for a drive, but they're going to miss the point of that if you are out, especially in the country, maybe you hit an animal and you have a crash or something. Hello, GT86. Then you go into, where do you go? You go to hospital, which is already being pushed to the limit over here in the UK. So, you know, I think you can bear being inside for a bit longer, maybe. Just try your best. Anyway, so I've not really got a plan on how this video is going to go or what I'm going to say. Usually people make videos like this and they have like a list of things they want to go through. I've got kind of a list of things in my head to go through, but it's probably going to be a little bit rambly and a little bit every now and then going a bit quicker. I mean, we're doing 100 mile an hour. We're cruising at 100 mile an hour on our Skyline. It feels like nothing, of course. It feels like that in the real life too. And those turbos just about spooled. Now there you go. Getting some speed. I'm getting some slow down signs though, so I'm going to actually listen to those and not hurt myself on the way down the hill here. And the first thing I want to talk about, I guess, is the channel and how things have, frankly, exploded recently. They really have. They've gone just absolutely insane. Like, you know, I guess I could kind of foresee that given the situation. A lot of people now are inside and watching videos and watching streams and not out at work. But for me, it's meant that since the Drive Try video came out in February, of course, I know that was kind of before this whole situation started, as we're going to try and use the grunt to get past GTA 6. Thank you very much, mate. I think I had about 350,000 subscribers now. We're nearly at 450,000 subscribers. So I've gained, you know, in a couple of months, nearly 100k, which is more than ever before. Oh, we're going to go left here, are we? No, don't crash. And with runs like that, I kind of wonder how or why that's happened. But, oh no, the GTA 6 is back now and he's angry. I'm sorry, mate. I'll go, I promise. So yeah, really, I wanted to say thank you for that support. It is insane. And I hope that, you know, you'll stay with me for many months to come, regardless of the virus. And I'm kind of sad that the channel has benefited from that. You know what I mean? I would much rather we stayed where we were in terms of viewership and subscribers, and this pandemic not affect the world. But I guess it is what it is, and we have to just kind of continue onwards. And of course, with this happening to sim racing, I found myself being invited to millions upon millions, it feels like, of crazy events, you know, involving real-life drivers, pro drivers, and recently Formula 1 drivers, which is pretty surreal, to say the least. It's pretty mad, and that's been quite eye-opening as well, as to how people are, you know, and how people act in a different setting, and it has been for a number of reasons, which we'll get into a bit later on, shall we? F. Carl Larson, by the way. But yeah, it's been an honour to drive alongside people and find that you aren't too far off. You know, you aren't too far off. I've never seen myself as a quick sim racer. I've always seen myself as someone who's kind of average, maybe slightly above average in terms of skill, but nowhere near the fast guys. So to kind of get the opportunity to race them, and I actually found it to be quite good for me to race them. That MX-5 was just booking it around there, man. Just because it gives you someone to aim for who's a bit quicker than you. Oh, misread that. Thank you, four-wheel drive system. Very cool. Yeah, but it's been nice to kind of learn that and learn where I lose my time. I've discovered that I'm terrible at braking, basically. That's not my worst thing. Oh my god. As I say, as I brake traction. Go on. Oh no, I should have done that. That's why you don't throw the car at the apex on a two-way traffic road. I only got Mustanged, which is weird because I wasn't a crowd yet. It still went for me. Odd that, isn't it? Yeah, and I think it's been good for pretty much every sim racing YouTube channel. Everyone's grown. There's been this great opportunity, starting off with things like the Velocity Grand Prix. That was amazing. Of course, the Virtual GP that I've been a part of, and I can't tell you how many interviews I've had with people who wanted to hear my side of the story of driving in that race, and you know, we're on the BBC News website and things like that, and it's a bit odd because it's all happened very quickly, you know, and I'm someone who is still, admittedly, a bit of an introvert, so I kind of enjoy my chill time, you know. I enjoy just chilling out and relaxing, so when you're being put in the spotlight a lot, and I'm not really used to it, it's a bit tricky. But, you know, it's a good problem to have, but it's something that I've got to learn to deal with a bit better. Speaking of dealing with things, driving with the F1 lads. Again, absolutely mad experience, and I'm well aware there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who would kind of give their right arm just to be in the position where I am, or just getting to race just online. But I gotta say, like, even now I still feel odd about being in that group of people, you know, because these are some of the best drivers in the world, people that we look up to and idolise, you know, as motorsport fans. And there I am, just casually driving with them, and kind of having a chat with them every now and then. You know, I still feel like the outsider of the group, and I expect it should be that way because I am that. You know, I'm not exactly. I mean, they all grew up together doing the thing. I'm just some guy on the internet who drives cars badly and now has ginger hair. But yeah, it's still a bit difficult. Still got the imposter syndrome. People just say to me, "Don't have that. You deserve to be there." Not quite as easy as that, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. So, but think we, as of recording this, there is, I'm not sure when this video will go live, but there's the second part of the Race for the World coming up fairly soon. And I'm kind of half prepared for that, but, you know, even though I'm just driving around at the back of the field, mid-pack back of the field, it's still an honour to be on that circuit. So I try not to worry too much about how I actually perform, and more just trying to put on a show for the guys at home who are all stuck at home doing nothing, you know. It's abysmal doing this. Enough to drive a man crazy. I'm sure it's driven a couple of you crazy already, but hang in there, lads. We're all in this together. I'm going to take the absolute racing line here. Look at this. Easy. It's quite relaxing going for a drive. The thing is, I wouldn't drive anywhere near this quick on the on roads in real life. But this is the great thing about sim racing, right? And something that I think we need to try and remember a little bit is that through all this seriousness, all these big events being put on TV and NBC and Fox and BBC and Sky and all these people putting on events and showing it to the world, that for me this is how sim racing is, how it started. It's just going for a drive sometimes, you know, driving cars that you don't get to drive in real life. Or in my case, can't drive in real life. It's still weird to know that I own one of these. And do it in the sim and enjoy doing it. And enjoy just chatting the shit, you know? That's the big deal. That's what it should be. But people are forgetting about that sometimes. And I think sim racing's in a bit of a danger of, one, well, it's already done this, oversaturating these big events with these big drivers. Because for me now, you know, this sounds weird, but I'm kind of used to being in these events with these names at the moment. So everyone's like, oh, Jimmy, how would you like to drive with X, Y, Z? I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that'd be nice. You know, I casually drove with David Pittard in VLN before, and that's still an amazing thing. That's still an absolutely amazing experience, but like, I didn't go in there being scared of him, or, and when I say scared, I mean like nervous, because he was like this big boy driver. More, I wanted just to be his mate and get on with him. I mean, he did that really well. You know, that's sort of how my perspective has changed of those events now a little bit. And of course, some drivers are a bit more willing to do that than others. I don't really want to get into that too much, but all right, bit of a chan there. But we're at a risk of oversaturating, I think. And the thing is, the quality of the driving in the pro events, I'd say, is probably less that of a sim racing pro event. It's kind of what you expect, but I don't know. I think sim racing is doing this thing where it's trying its best to emulate real life, when in reality it should embrace that it isn't in real life and have a little bit of fun with it sometimes. Like, of course there is room for the big crazy events that go on TV. There's room for that, you know. But arguably for me, watching a race is a little bit of a shit show with some good racing in as well. You can have both in a race. Is more entertaining to me than watching this really stuffy procession where everyone's pretending it's real life. You know, there are people, there are certain racing broadcasters, sim racing broadcasters, who will just pretend that they're in a real life situation when they just need to embrace the fact that they aren't. And that's what makes sim racing a bit more interesting, a bit more special, is it has that kind of, or it did have anyway, that room to be a bit more casual. I feel like that's not quite as true at the moment, because again, all the eyes on it, all the sponsors, and you're seeing that with, you know, cases like old Bubba Wallace and Carl Larson. You know, there are cameras on you in the cockpit. People always used to say to me, Jimmy, you get so mad when you drive. Oh man, you're now seeing what it is like to have cameras on you all the time when driving in a competitive scenario. People get angry and do stupid shit and get their sponsors taken away. I think the Bubba Wallace thing was a bit ridiculous, but oh god, we put it in the guardrail. We night kids now. But the Carl Larson thing, I mean, you can't be saying that, man. You can't be doing that. And if you're wondering what that is, just go and Google it. You'll find it very quickly. Trust me. But I'm not going to talk about it too much on stream. It's had enough attention already. On stream, on video, it feels like a stream because I'm just sitting there and chatting. It's kind of nice. I got to say, I'm really enjoying just carving these corners, man. I know I'm not really pushing it through and I'm kind of between gears a lot, but just fun just to drive around kind of mindlessly. I'm not really concentrating too much. I'm just trying to stay on my side of the road. Most of the time anyway. That way you can see the line through it and you can get cheeky and cut the corner a bit. And this car's just go out quick enough to have fun in. And you can still chuck it around the corner. I've put it on the street tyres too, because you can't go on the semi-slicks, but why would you drive semi-slicks in a street car, man? Oh, well, I say that in-game anyway. In real life, semi-slicks are a lot better. But in-game, it's fun to have the slides and the scary moments. That's kind of what makes the game fun. See if we can get one going here, shall we? No, come on. Just terrible. You can get this thing doing some really fun four-wheel slides if you get it set up correctly, but I'm not quite there yet. So anyway, on the subject of maybe not taking things too seriously, I've really found myself like wanting to almost rebel against it, like in a weird way. Do you know what? That sounds like really dramatic when I say rebel, doesn't it? But for example, when we did the Stroll BTCC touring car thing, and it was just an absolute shit show. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. Just an absolute shit show, loads of fun, mates just pissing about on the server. That for me is closer to what I associate with sim racing than, you know, the events I do with these F1 guys. I prefer doing those sort of events that are more chill because there's just not pressure, and it's fun and it's interesting, you know. Like, we're all, everyone who, I think it's fair to say, everyone who's into sim racing is a racing enthusiast or a driving enthusiast, you know. And we have access, or had access, or still do now in the archives, I guess, to all sorts of very serious, very organised racing. But some of the funniest stuff, or some of the most entertaining stuff you see, is when it isn't all organised and crazy. It's where it's just ad lib. And that's kind of what like I've been feeling recently a lot. Like, you know, doing the stupid stuff with the dump truck and the F1 car, the bajillion horsepower. I find that almost therapeutic to go back and do that. Because I know it's stupid, I know it's not realistic, but who cares as long as you're enjoying it, right? Sim racing needs to get over itself with realism sometimes, I think. Anyway, but I'm getting onto a tangent now, really. But as a result, I've got a couple of events set up. I'm not going to go into them just yet. There is one coming up this Friday, though, in Wreckfest. We've got a lot of really cool people taking part. No racing drivers, though. Just cool lads. TM. And I'm putting a bit more effort into organising stuff that everyone can access, because one of the downsides to doing all these events is that, well, I guess I'm lucky, but I consider it downsides. I'm in it on my own, you know, for the most part. Outside of the race, which I think Steve's a part of as well, and there's a sim racing section that add in. All these big, you know, supercar events, IndyCar events, the F1 event for the most part, they're just including, they're not really including the community of sim racing outside of me. And I am not the community of sim racing. I'm a member of the community. But, you know, there are so many more people who could take part in it, you know. I mean, again, like Steve could be in it, you could put Ben in it, you could put Arav in there as well. Empty Box, I'd love to see Empty Box in the IndyCar races. Because then the people who are maybe more sim racing enthusiasts than racing enthusiasts have someone to support, instead of watching Dale Jr. go round again. Oh! Alright. That sounded pretty good. And I'm not talking about involving someone like myself in these races. I've been involved in them and I've been very lucky to do so. But there's a big, rich community of racers. Get Malone in something, for crying out loud, you know? Mix them together. So, because what's happened is you have... Real life has been cancelled. But that sounds super dramatic. And it just moved to sim racing and displaced all the sim racers and gone, this is ours now. We are the important people now. No, there was a community there before you guys came over. Embrace it. So I'm kind of trying to think of a way to maybe help push that a bit myself. I guess I have some influence in this world now, although I don't want to have it. I just seem to have it for some reason. So maybe we can organise something there, but I don't know. Again, like, this video is a bit of a ramble. I hope you guys appreciate that. It's just me just driving around and chatting the shit, 'cause I don't really get to do it very often. Give me that fourth gear. Wait for it. Oh, and now we hit the brakes hard. Because we turning. Can I, Oh, I just didn't quite have enough boost there to get around in second gear. Should have put it in first. God, there's a lot to be said for doing this. just driving around and enjoying it. There's a lot to be said. Really nice just to get out here and virtually get out here. Go for a drive, you know. God, I miss going for a drive. Whoa! Okay, so what happened there is I went into English mode. I forgot I was on a US road. Englishman Rex 370Z. I was like, wait a minute, he's on the wrong side of the road. And I was like, oh wait, no, I am. And then I got crunched big time. You might also notice that I'm wearing these very fashionable what the hell are these called? I've snapped off one of the ears basically. So and I can't find my other glasses, and my eyes are aching a bit from all this racing I'm doing. So I'm wearing these. Like some sort of weird geography teacher now, don't I? With this stupid hair, like an alternative geography teacher. That's me. I should put my cardigan on and really complete the look, shouldn't I? But I hope mostly in this time you guys are staying safe and staying sane. You know, sim racing is in this unique position because it's something that it's a sport that can survive when, or the virtual counterpart can survive when the real life counterpart isn't there anymore, because we have the tools to do that. You know, it's been said so many times, and I'll say it again, that, you know, we can't go and play football in sim the same way that we can get our wheel and pedals and drive as you would in the real life. You know, apart from the G-force and the sense of, oh my god, I'm going to crash this expensive car, this is pretty much as close as you're going to get to replicating a sport in a video game. But it's a simulator! Oh, alright. Oh, R34. Like, revving the tits off second gear, I think, there. I went on Piston Heads the other day, because I was interested to see how much R34s go for now. 70 grand? 65 grand for a Bayside blue one? I think I bought my car at the right point. Bloody hell, it's not an R34, but I still prefer the R32, of course, but fuck me, that's a lot of money for a Japanese box. But anyway, again, getting kind of off topic. But yeah, go back to what I was saying. I hope you guys are all doing okay. It is a scary time, you know, and I think a lot of what's happening is that people are doing what I kind of catch myself doing every now and then, and saying, I'm not allowed to feel bad because there are people having it worse in the world right now, which is true, you know. Relatively off, I'm doing pretty well. I'm in my house, which is in the country. I say in my house, in the shed, in the country, you know. We have food, we have water, we're not going crazy at all. I have a garden that I can sit in. I've got a lot more than a lot of other people. But then when I say that, I'm saying to myself that I'm not allowed to get stressed about YouTube, which I'm stressed about regardless of this pandemic going on. I'm not allowed to be stressed about the pandemic and, you know, the possibility of my mum catching it, which would probably be fatal for her. So, you know, there's always that looming over your head. And not being able to see my girlfriend who lives in Spain and who was really hard hit at the start, and I was really worried about that. And those are things that I am allowed to worry and get upset about. And the same applies to you guys, you know. It's reasonable to be upset about those things. Don't sit down and think that just because somebody else has a worse scenario doesn't mean that you can't be upset too. You need everyone needs that person to talk to, you know. And I kind of wish that in some sort of weird world that I could all sit down with those of you who do struggle and have like a little heart-to-heart. But unfortunately, because there are 444,000 of you now, heck, it's not really doable for now. But maybe we can work something out in the future. Some sort of really crazy phone-in. I'm not sure how big this map is. I guess we'll keep driving around until either I run out of things to say or till we find the end of the map. We've only been going 20 odd minutes so far. It feels longer, I guess, because rambling uninterrupted longer. These sort of long form videos I find, where it's just a guy talking, they don't do very well on YouTube because people, something I've noticed more and more as the channel grows is people don't really watch stuff that requires them to sit down and listen. They like to have stuff that is chopped up and forced to them quickly. So this sort of video never does very well, and as a result I get afraid to make it, which is silly. I like making stuff like this. I like just having a chat every now and then, but you get afraid to do it almost, you know. That being said though, I have been given a certain go-kart by Niels that apparently is good. Apparently, it's faster than the X20 2010 around the Nordschleife. So that should be a fun video when that comes out, or when I get round to actually recording that. Let's see if we can open her up a little bit. I've been kind of cruising for now. Let's see if we can get something going. Hey, MX-5. What a cutie that is. And now some pleb in a Porsche. I think I would prefer an MX-5 on this road to like some really big, quick Porsche. I feel like I've been here before. Oh, I have been here before. There you go. We've actually been round here already, haven't we? I think we have. Oh, well, let's speed up a bit then. Have a bit of fun with it before we end off. But yeah, so I'd rather be in one of those MX-5s than some really expensive 911 Porsche around these canyons, just because top down is fantastic. I say it's a hairdresser car, but obviously my hairdressing skills aren't very good. Trying to guess where the road goes here. It's no signs. I have no idea what that red dot means. I guess it means slow the hell down. Take third gear in here. I mean, oh, it's this bit. It means there's a stop sign coming up. I did that better than last time, at least. Right, come on, GTR. See what you got. Straight 6 twin turbo, baby! Making sure we're in the right gear. Can't really see where the road goes here. This is where you want pace notes, really, isn't it? Instead of guessing where you're going. That's tighter than I thought it was. Trying to get it sideways a bit to get some rotation going on as well, just to make sure I've got a bit to play with if I do end up understeering or going into a corner a bit too quick. You can kind of cancel a little bit with the four-wheel drifting. This will be second gear, I think. Oh, Jesus! The Countach chasing an M3. That's a pretty cool thing to watch. So you're going in a bit too quick now. Whew. Oh man, it's fun just to mess about sometimes. But anyway, guys, I think I've said everything I wanted to say in this video. It's good to end off with a bit of a rag towards the end there. Don't do that on the public roads, crying out loud, it's bad. So yeah, it's LA Canyons map. If you like driving like this map is fantastic. I'll try and remember to link it below. I think there's a free version and a VIP version, a paid version basically. I'm on the VIP of the two-way traffic right now, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion if you're the sort of guy I like this sort of things. And I think the R32 GTR is probably on race department too. I'll find it. But anyway, yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And again, hope you keep safe. I know I said that a lot, but it's a scary time. But we are, you know, if we are there for each other, it'll be a lot of a nicer time than if we stay isolated. You know, we have technology to contact, do that. If you're feeling bad, reach out to someone. There are people out there who are there to talk to. So don't be afraid to do that. But anyway, guys, gonna end off. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, feel free to subscribe, do all the good stuff. Whoa! And of course, a massive thank you as always to my Patreons and to sponsors and to all of you guys for this crazy support during this crazy time. Take care, have an awesome rest of the day. I'll see you all next time.